Ohio State officially learned a few minutes ago that it will play Utah in the Rose Bowl on January 1st. Nathan Baird from cleveland.com, along with Doug Lesmerises and Stephen Means. Stephen, you just wrote something for cleveland.com/OSU/Buckeye Talk about the Utes and what. So just tell people, what should Ohio State expect from Utah?
Yeah, the reward for losing to Michigan is they get to play Michigan of the West. Basically. I mean, they're going to run the ball. They've got three guys that they want to run the ball with, led by Tavion Thomas, who is their Hassan Haskins. And I'm guaranteeing you that Utah is going to watch the Oregon film, they're going to watch the Minnesota film, and they're going to watch the Michigan film. And they might even turn on the Michigan State film just to see what not to do. And they're going to try to use that exact same thing to try to out-tough this Ohio State team. So that's your reward. You get this. People don't think this Ohio State team is tough. They don't think they got bullied at the line of scrimmage in 3 of those 4 games against a team who had a competent running back. This is your chance to kind of not completely wipe it out of people's minds, but to kind of respond to that a little bit. So, yeah, that's what this boils down to. You lost to Michigan, so you get to play them again while Michigan might be playing for a national championship.
Ryan Day deflected questions asking to comment on the comments of Josh Gaddis, the Michigan offensive coordinator, who said that he thought that Ohio State wasn't a very tough team and that was something Michigan could exploit. I'm sure he has a lot of things he wants to say about that. He isn't going to say them to us. But when we was asked, what did you feel like was the most efficient from the Michigan game, he said, running the ball, stopping the run. So things that have something to do with toughness were primary on his mind. And, Doug, this is an opponent that allows Ohio State to address some of those deficiencies right away.
And Utah has an awesome linebacker, right? I mean, Utah has a linebacker who's going to be might be the first linebacker off the board in the NFL draft, right? Is it Devin Lloyd? Is that his name? So it's like, hey, another example of the other team having better linebackers than Ohio State. So if you thought like Noah Sewell was a problem and Josh Ross was a problem and the Penn State guys were problems, like, well, you see this guy. So, this isn't a great game. I mean, it's not like the only thing about it is that it's the Rose Bowl. But even that, not that you ever get sick of the Rose Bowl, but, in 2018, it was like Urban Meyer's never coached in the Rose Bowl. It's going to be his last game. There's a lot. You got get some juice out of that. The time before that, they were there in 2010. It was Chip Kelly. Tressel hadn't coached there. Like it had been forever since Ohio State had been there, and now it's like they're going back to a game they played in 3 years ago to play a team that like nobody cares about. No offense to Utah. So I think the deal is it doesn't matter if Ohio State wins, but I do not think they want to lose. Like, do you want to be 10-3? Like, do you want like of all the? I don't know that I don't think like a win's gonna propel them, but I think a loss could drag them down even more than they're down right now. So I think like that's a thing. And the other part of this is we're just, it's all this coach mumbo jumbo stuff. Nick Saban's talking about how everybody disrespected Alabama just because people looked at them go to overtime against Auburn with Auburn's backup quarterback last week and thought, I don't know how good Alabama is. It's like, oh, rah, rah. And Jim Harbaugh's like, nobody believed in Michigan. It's like, you were 2-4 last year, man. People thought you were going to get fired. So guess what? Ohio State gets to get disrespected for a while. And sometimes there is nothing coaches like more than getting disrespected. So maybe they'll get disrespected for a month and go beat up Utah. Or maybe they'll get disrespected, lose to Utah, and then get disrespected for 8 months and then come out and take it out on Notre Dame. So, like, that's the thing. They have to hang on to disrespect right now because they're not in a great spot.
Well, obviously, Brian Day has used that effectively in the past, right? He'll grab onto like any indication of disrespect or being overlooked and really use it to try to motivate his team. But as he said today, something along the lines of, I don't need any more motivation right now. I think there's probably a lot of players in this team that don't need that extra motivation. We will have to wait and find out if everybody's going to play. He said that he thinks everyone, as of right now, he expects everyone to play. I don't think that's going to be the case. So we'll see exactly what team Ohio State takes out there. But they're playing a team that, as you both said, this is a team that I feel like has an identity. I mean, Kyle Willingham's been there a long time. He has really built something out there, and this is their opportunity. They have a lot to gain here and maybe little to lose if you're in Utah's place. And I think you're right, Doug. That's not necessarily the case with Ohio State. Like, as far as like being kind of stalled without momentum right now, the momentum starts to go in the opposite direction if you compound the loss you've already taken with another one here in a couple weeks at the Rose Bowl. Get the text 614-350-3315. We'll be bringing you intel and analysis every day heading into that game.